Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player, weight loss champion, Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Holla.
Former wrestling announcer and weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. This is Fourth and Pain. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain. And Adam, I am very excited because on the line with us right now is a gentleman that I watched religiously Monday nights at the height of the Monday Night Wars. This guy was a key figure to me in the NWO, and long before that is Marcus Alexander Bagwell. We have none other than Buff Bagwell on the line. How are you, Buff?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Oh, man, not a whole heck of a lot. Just very, very grateful to have you on the line with us. What are you doing to keep yourself busy these days, my man?
Man, I still do it. I actually had a car accident about 10 months ago, a real bad car accident. And backing up, I actually walked in on my best friend dead in Atlanta.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was pretty heavy. And walked in, found him dead. He had fallen and hit his head and died of a brain hematoma. But it took him a couple of days to die. I didn't even know he was hurt. I actually saw him during the 3 days and told me he needed to go to the doctor and everything. And he was one of those anti-doctor guys. And he had bitten his tongue real bad when he fell. And so I said, dude, I'm telling you, if your tongue's bitten like that, your head took a hit. You know, he's I'm fine. So his appetite was okay and all that, but 3 days later, bro, he died of a brain hematoma. So I, in the quest of just that happening, decided I was going to quit drinking. And I'm not a big drinker anyway. I'm, a couple beers a day, but every day. Right. And I actually use it as part of my diet even. I usually, after my workout, your blood sugar's low, so I use a couple of some old bodybuilding trick. And you drink 2 or 3 beers, it gets your blood sugar up, and it's just an old trick to make you a little more hungry and things like that. Well, I cut that out and had a withdrawal seizure from it. And I didn't know that 2 beers is not bad. Even if you dry turkey, it does. It's dry, it does hurt you. So didn't know that. So I'm going down the road and literally see this light pull over. The light's called an aura. And it's a light that I think, how I describe it is, it's a light that God shows epileptic patients. So it gives them 45 seconds to lay down or pull over because you're going to go down. Wow. Well, I saw that light, and I was on the phone with my wife, and she was, pull over. So I pulled over, and then I somehow, in a complete blacked out stage, craned my Jeep and pulled off and don't remember any of it. Drove around a subdivision that I couldn't even know even be in the subdivision I was in, and flipped my Jeep and caved my face in and was in a coma for 5 days and everything. Well, from that bad all the way back to, back into complete, Buff Bagwell shape again, which was the hardest 10 months of my life, but I'm back.
Wow. Well, welcome back.
Yeah, it was deep, man.
That's a heck of an ordeal.
Yeah.
Have you made your return back to the ring yet, or are you still getting?
I actually made it back about 6 months ago, and thought I was, kind of up all 100%. Well, I'm seeing now that I really wasn't even close, but I was still able to wrestle and still able to do things, but I could just tell by the way I feel, that I wasn't nowhere near 100%, but and I feel great now. But it was, like I said, I've been back in the ring for 6 months, but for some reason lately, I don't even know why, my phone has been ringing off the hook, dude. And that's a great thing, but at the same time, only 2 people have asked me about how am I? Are you okay? Are you, can you move? Can you wrestle? And I say 90% of everybody knows about the car wreck because it's pretty publicized. And I can care less about them asking for my health, but if you're going to book me to have me work for you, I want to know how you look, how you feel, and nobody's asked that. And my phone is ringing off the hook, though.
Well, Buff, how do you look? How do you feel?
You know what? I feel great. Thanks for asking. And I think I look, 95% what people saw on TV. I'm close.
We're speaking with Buff Bagwell.
I'm still Buff the Stuff, brother.
We're speaking with Buff the Stuff Bagwell here on Fourth and Pain. And Buff, you were a 5-time tag team champion in WCW. Now, I got a chance to watch you in each one of these title reigns. Which one was the most special to you? Which one do you hold in the highest regard?
I think I gotta go with my boy Scotty, just because it was really, we had something a little different, man. We was, people didn't look like me and Scotty back then. Now everybody kind of figured out, you watch your cards and you get on the Stairmaster, but then again, not everybody can do that, but everybody kind of learned that was the trick, and wrestlers kind of became kind of like cookie cutters. But in the generation of me and Scotty, man, we look different, bro. We were different. And because we busted it, we didn't miss it. We didn't miss the gym. We were always at the gym. We'd land. It didn't matter where it was. Australia, Japan, didn't matter. We trained. We canned. We were ready for TV. And people just, it was hard to do it, man. But so now I think wrestlers, a lot of them kind of, figured out that system of if you do cardio and watch your cards and get a tan, make you look better. But back then it was pretty strange and rare. So I think Scotty. Me and Scotty were the closest, man.
Speaking of Scott Steiner, who's bigger, who's stronger, you or Scott Steiner?
Oh, my God, Scott Steiner. He's a freak.
That was a little too easy. I thought there'd be a little bit more bragging or a little bit more competition. That was a little too easy.
I can't even lie about that one. Gosh, you ain't giving me the chance to even. I mean, he's a freak. That's like saying, can you beat up Chuck Liddell? No, I can't. No, Scotty. Actually, I'll give you a little bit. It did get a little heated backstage when I got into shape because the boys stirred it up and Bagwell's catching you and it got in Scotty's head a little bit, And I said, Scotty, you can't. I said, dude, let that go. I said, who cares, dude? I said, yeah. He goes, well, do you? So he started listening to the ore that was stirring the locker room up a bit, and he dove into the stories and did you say this and did you say that? And I go, look, Scotty, if you don't believe that, come on, man. And so Eric saw that, and before the word reality TV was out, Eric Bischoff created reality TV. He would take something that happened in the locker room and put it on television. And if somebody was flirting with somebody's wife or something, he put it on TV. And absolutely. So he was ahead of the game on reality TV. He was really good at it. And so if somebody was arguing or there was a problem, let's make an angle out of it. So he understood how strong that was, and it was good. It made it better. It made reality TV, made reality TV wrestling kind of.
And speaking of Eric Bischoff, I read a report, and maybe you can tell me if this is true or not. Shortly after you had that car accident and that seizure last year, you and Bischoff were in talks about you maybe making a return to TNA wrestling.
No, let me stop right there and clarify everything that I've said. There's never been one interview that anybody can play or say I said that I spoke to Eric Bischoff. I want to clarify that and say it again. I, to this day, have not spoken to Eric Bischoff. So that rumor got out, and it wasn't true. I didn't say it, and it's actually hurt me some because it's getting out. And it's what I said is the truth. I've not spoke to him. I didn't say I had. There's no recording where you can hear me say that because I've never said it. But it got back to him that I did, and Steen called me and said, did you say? I said, no. I said, why is that a big deal now? I said, I've been getting asked why I'm not at TNA for 10 years. I said, why is it a big deal all of a sudden, But anyway, that got back to him. But no, I have not spoken to Eric about coming to TNA whatsoever.
Would you have any
desire? Sting about it, and I'm talking to Sting.
Would you have any desire to go to TNA if they gave you that phone call?
I would. Yes, I would actually like to go to TNA. I'd like to be there. I can see myself there. I like the crew that's there. I would love to go there and be back on TNA. I'd love it.
Well, speaking of TNA, they recently made the decision, Buff, to take Impact on the road, no longer having it at the same venue each and every week. And so they're going to be live on the road. Now, you were also in WCW at the time when Nitro became the phenomenon that it was. Do you think the TNA is in a state now where it can actually grow and maybe not reach the same level of success that WCW had when Nitro really took off? But do you think that this is a good move for TNA?
I don't know. I don't. It's just such a different time now. I mean, you got to realize you're talking to a guy that we had to beg 500 people to come inside to watch us at center stage. Right. We had to beg them. We had to give a bicycle away halfway through, and then to all of a sudden there's 100,000 people paid to see us. So that's a hell of a ride, bro. You know, and so I can't answer that. I really don't know. I'm not sure if anybody can answer what you just asked, but I will say that I hope they do, and I will say that I do not want to say, which most wrestlers would want to say this. I don't. Most wrestlers would want to say, hey, I was part of the biggest thing wrestling ever did. A lot of wrestlers and people would like to say that. I would much rather say, hey, I was part of one of the coolest things wrestling ever did. I want there to be an NWO again that happens and something happened and wrestling's cool again. And I don't want to go down as being in the thing that was one of the hottest things ever. I'd rather be, just a section of pro wrestling, but it seems like, I don't know, like it's not coming back. But TNA's got a vibe about it that I feel when I watch it, like it's got that WCW vibe, like where people used to kind of flip by it, and then all of a sudden, man, it just, something clicked. And we went from literally, Universal Studios begging people to come see us to selling out arenas, dude. So it can happen, and I'm not sure what intricate part that takes. Is Stuff Bagwell gonna solve that problem? No, but I think it'd help it. And so it can't hurt. Let's put it that way. So, I wish I'd love to be part of it, but I think they've got the right chemistry. I think it's time for wrestling to do something again. I think it's been a big enough long gap, and I wish and hope it does. Just for wrestling, period. I just hope it does.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see it do it one more run. One more time where wrestling is just really cool.
In my opinion,
I had to defend pro wrestling for the first 5 years of my career. Then everybody thought I was God, and then now I'm back to defending it again. So wrestlers they're finicky, they're closet wrestler fans, that they don't quite say they like it and all that. Well, that 5 years was awful fun. That people just flat out told you it was cool and they loved it, and now it's back to that. What do you do? Oh, you're one of those wrestler guys. Oh,
right. Well,
so I wish he'd come back.
Well, one final question for you before we turn the reins over to you and you get a chance to ask Adam a question. I couldn't let you go without talking briefly about your time in WWE, and I guess it's been talked about a lot, but if we could just get you to talk a little bit about what happened there and why the tenure there was so short and whether or not you'd be open to returning to there as well.
What happened there is what nobody knows, which is, keep in mind, there's only 3 witnesses to this, and the other 2 probably wouldn't tell you, but is Vince flew me up with my second wife, and I'm with my third wife now for 12 years, but my second wife, he flew me and her up. Vince's thing back then was if he was going to hire you, he flew you up, you came to the house, he met you, blah, 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 and that's how the big stars all got kind of treated. That's how it happened. Well, I wasn't a big star, but then at the end, when I kind of started getting popular, he did call to me, and I got my wife, and we flew first class on his ticket, and came to his house, and we met with Shane and everybody. Well, he was trying to get me to come over. Well, the contract I signed was such a generic contract because I signed it when I broke my neck, and it was still the money that I wanted for the 3 years, but I just didn't really care about the little things I should have cared about, like the cycles that were in it and things that I could have said no to this and no to that. Here's Eric Bischoff giving me a 3-year contract with a broke neck.
Right.
So I didn't look at those things. Well, those were crucial intricate parts that held Vince back from hiring me. Well, during that time, he buys the company. So I go from Buff Bagwell that he flew up to do the wine and dining thing, come work my country, to, what is your name? Mm. You know what I'm saying? I became less important because he owned me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, so what I did and thought was smart was and my agent did too, we thought it was smart. I had so much heat from the internet and rumors and blah, blah, blah. Truth, not truth, believe what you want, don't believe what you want, whoever's listening. Just long story short, it just is what it is, and I had heat. Well, the heat I had was strong, and I couldn't fix it, so I didn't try to fix it. There wasn't no fixing it. So what we decided to do to fix it is I could have sat at home for 3 more months and got paid, which equaled about 60, let's see, about 120 grand. Wow. I could have sat at home for 3 months and Vince would have had to pay me. Instead, to show him I was a team player and that those rumors weren't true, nobody knows this. I gave Vince $120,000.
What?
I didn't give it to him. I just said, hey, forget that, and let's just me and you start over right now. To show him I was a team player. So I could have sat at home and collected $120,000 not doing anything, just sitting in my house, or go instantly to work for Vince McMahon and lose 120 grand.
Right.
I went to instant work for Vince McMahon and lost $120,000 and was fired in 2 weeks. Mm.
What?
I owe my 120 back.
That's tough.
Hey, man, what happened?
What precipitated that release in such a quick time?
By bad luck, the only reason you saw Booker T, Dallas Page, and me, the only reason you saw us on television was because our contracts were up.
Right.
Everybody else was able to stay home, wait it out, wait for the storm. First one through the wall was getting bloody. Well, I was first one through the wall. And I got bloodied. And but everybody else was able to kind of wait it out and scope it out and see and all that. Well, I couldn't financially. Right. I could have sat home for 3 months and let the rumors kind of get worse and worse and worse, or I could stop the rumors, tell Vince, hey, man, I'm ready to start right now and show you I'm a team player. Let's just me and you start off fresh right here.
Right.
But I did that, and it got me nowhere.
Gotcha.
He was fired in 2 weeks.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the last question is yours. So if there's anything you wanted to ask Adam, football, wrestling, life-related, now is certainly the time.
With the football, did you have to go through the combine?
I did go through the combine.
I'm real big on the combine because it's just to me that's everything to me. Like, did you feel like you got what you deserved out of the combine or not?
Say that again.
Do you feel like you got what you were worth out of the combine or not?
I think so. The combine, it's not an enjoyable experience, in my opinion. You get up early every morning. You're doing all these drug tests, these mental tests, all these things. You're staying up late, staying up every night. I got up at like...
It looks crazy, man.
Yeah, I got up at like 4:30 every morning to do all these tests all day long. You're meeting with teams. They're doing these mental tests on you. Then at night you have the interviews, and I wouldn't go to bed till 1, 2 in the morning. So for about 5 days straight, I didn't get but 2 or 3 hours sleep. Which isn't a big deal, but the day you test is the last day you're there. So I was very tired when I still tested just fine. I wanted a little bit higher numbers, but then I got my pro day at Nebraska. I ran a 4.9 at the combine. I ran a 4.7 at Nebraska. I'm really a 4.8 guy. I'm not sure how I ran the 4.7, to be honest with you. I'm more of a 4.8 guy, but I feel like the combine wasn't something I enjoyed. But as far as telling the scouts about me and let them know what I'm physically capable of, I felt like I did a good job, and the interviews are a big part of that process as well, and I felt like those went pretty well.
There you go.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm really intrigued with the combine because that's in wrestling, we call it a shoot, and that's like the combine's a shoot, bro. I mean, but to show you once again, kind of like wrestling, you can't judge it by the shoot sometimes. Tom Brady finished last in everything, and he got 3 rings. You know, he was literally. I saw an article today on ESPN where there was 280 something quarterbacks, and he finished 280 whatever. He was last on the list.
Well,
everything.
He was a 6th-round draft pick too. I mean, he's probably the greatest steal ever in the history of the NFL draft.
Can't argue with
exactly. And filled everything at the combine. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
If you ever want to look up something, now, granted, he's the top 5 all-time quarterback to me, one of the greatest ever. But if you ever want to see something, just Google Tom Brady's combine photo. It's very, very misleading. You're not going to look at him and see a guy who's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, even though that's what he ends up becoming.
They actually showed that picture on this article I saw, so I'll look at that again. But today, I mean, it literally looked like a kid out of high school that was out of shape. I mean, he was just standing there with 0 muscle mass. It was the front shot, the side shot, the back shot, you know. And I'm just thinking, that guy's got 3 rings, bro. He makes $20 million a year.
Let's just say he doesn't look like Buff Bagwell. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? He don't. That's a fact.
And that's the shoot right there, brother. Buff Bagwell.
That's a shoot, brother.
Hey, his wife carries the looks in that family, and that's all that matters.
No doubt. Buff, cannot thank you enough. How can people get in contact with you if they're interested in bringing you in?
You can go to therealbuff.com. I am Buff. I am real. I am therealbuff.com.
And we greatly appreciate your time, Buff Bagwell, on 4th and Pain.
Man.
All right, you take care of yourself. This is 4th and Pain.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night.
Anytime. You take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.